Well, our good friend Tony Khan finally popped back up in the wrestling media. He hasn't been doing a lot of that lately. He's been kind of flying under the radar. I wonder why. Probably because of the ratings have been shit lately and he doesn't want to have to address it. But he did address it. He addressed it right here with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. And don't worry, guys. We're still doing really good in the key demo.
The male 18 to 34, when you started, to me, that was like a really strong demo. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the first demo you beat Raw in probably was that on a, I wouldn't say an every week basis, but fairly often. I mean, Raw was down, you were on the ascent, and now it's definitely gone in the other direction in the sense that WWE has gotten really strong. But the male 18 to 34, even this week, when everything was up, it was still down. It's been a problem. I know that like most TV shows would die for your male 18 to 34 demo number, but it
Right.
it has.
That's the important thing to look at. That's the perspective. The last thing I would really stress what you said is most shows would kill for our 18 to 34 demo.
They would.
And I want to continue, building. I think that having MJF back in recent weeks is going to be very good. And then, of course, we have other great stars like Kenny Omega is a great example. We talked about Adam Cole, Hangman, a lot of people that I want to get back into the show that historically have been really big draws to that young number. I think the most important key point is that for us, we've had historically really strong numbers and maintain really, really strong numbers in TV. And that is the thing we need to do, is keep doing what we're doing, because the numbers we have are numbers people in TV would kill to have.
Yes, leaning on the key demographic is a bit of a crutch because we can all clearly see that you're bleeding overall viewership, and the network has to take notice of that. But there is something to be said about that key demographic. That 18 to 35 is what the advertisers cherish most. Because sure, they could sell AARP memberships or the fucking Life Alert button to an older audience, or they could sell fucking frosted, sugar-crusted marshmallow Fruit Loops to the younger audience. But at the end of the day, the people that are going to be buying your products, spending the money, is that 18 to 35 demographic. Not to mention, those are the people that are most online. Those are the people most engaged in pop culture. Those are the people that are going to make your product relevant and be talking about it and wearing it and showing it off. That's why those advertisers covet that demographic. It means the most money to them. But you can still have a great demographic, as in the portion of your audience is still very highly that 18 to 35, but your audience is still clearly shrinking. 502 last week was obviously a bit of an anomaly, but it was literally half of the original viewership that AEW Dynamite started with. That's not good. That is not good at all. And Tony Khan was trying to spin this in this clip here with Meltzer and Alvarez. He's trying to spin it as, oh, we got all these injured people out, so when we get up to full capacity with our roster again, it's not about the people on your roster. And that's really scary, really scary. Tony Khan doesn't see anything wrong with his creative at all. Tony Khan sees this as a star power problem. Oh, we got guys that are injured. Once we can get our guys off the injured list, or once I can sign the next big signing and throw millions of dollars at them. It's always a talent problem for Tony Khan. It's a roster problem. The reason people aren't watching our show is because, oh, we got Adam Cole's out hurt, or Britt Baker's out hurt, or whatever the fuck. That's simply not the case. You are not telling good enough stories to engage people to keep them coming back. Look at what WWE is putting out there right now. Look at the product that they have on their television. Look at everything they're doing. Look how well developed many of their storylines are. You cannot say the same thing for AEW. There's a creative problem in AEW, not a roster problem. There's nobody on this planet. You can run out, and I'm convinced at this point that Tony Khan could run out and sign John Cena and Roman Reigns right now. He could have The Undertaker show up. I don't give a shit. all it's going to do is devalue every talent that shows up on their TV. AEW cannot be made stronger by talent. AEW can only be made stronger by their creative. Now, I do think they're going to get a new TV deal. It might not be as much as Tony's hoping for, and I do think the holdup at this point is trying to figure out the streaming situation. What's going to go on the streaming network, if anything? Are we going to pick up all these pay-per-views? Are we going to be the new home for live pay-per-views? It remains to be seen, but I think that's kind of where they're at right now. Tony Khan has publicly said that they are not unhappy with the money that they're offered. They're trying to figure out the streaming shit. Now, of course, Tony Khan says a lot of shit publicly, and we got to take that with a grain of salt. I'm sure he would like a higher dollar value, but I don't think he's going to get completely shit on, and they're not going to get dropped. But I really do think if I was Warner Brothers Discovery, I would be thirsty for that library on Max, because it can only help out your streaming service. There's going to be many wrestling fans that sign up for your streaming service to see the AEW back catalog, because even if fans don't like AEW's current product, they're going to like a lot of the stuff that was in the back catalog. They got CM Punk's full history there, for example. Not to mention that they own the Ring of Honor catalog. And their pay-per-views never fucking miss. Their pay-per-views are always bangers. You can go back and watch literally any AEW pay-per-view and you're not going to be bored with it. That Ring of Honor catalog, look, it's got the early days of so many of today's stars. Something WWE probably wishes they had, because everything that they've bought up is all old shit now. They own ECW, they own WCW, and they own all the territory stuff. But what have they bought of recent note? Nothing. Tony Khan owns the recent shit with owning Ring of Honor. A lot of today's current stars got their start in Ring of Honor. If I was Tony, I would also invest in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla if that ever comes up, because a lot of today's talent came through that door. That's the idea. Sure, he's not doing shit with Ring of Honor right now, but that catalog is worth money, and it'll be worth money when WWE eventually ends up buying AEW, and they'll be able to buy Ring of Honor along with it. But right now, that streaming service on Max, I think they should invest in AEW. They should bring the pay-per-views too, because they can look at how many pay-per-view buys AEW does on average, and they can assume that most of those people are going to migrate to the Max and subscribe, and they're not going to unsubscribe. It's not going to be, they're not going to churn, right? Because they're not going to unsubscribe next month after they've watched all the content, because next month's another pay-per-view. So they're going to stay engaged. I bet they could bring in upwards of 200,000 new subscribers just over the course of a year, perhaps, maybe 2 years, of people wanting to tune in to watch an AEW pay-per-view. And then they'll stick around to watch some of the back catalog stuff. Then they'll stick around to watch some of the movies that are on there. And now you got them hooked. Wrestling fans are loyal. Wrestling fans are diehard. It's not going to hurt your product in any way, shape, or form to have a huge back catalog of wrestling content available on your streaming services. You don't need to promote it. You don't need to put it front and center. It's not going to take anything away other than fucking bandwidth, storage capacity, whatever. It can only help your streaming service. I do think Tony's going to land that deal. I think it will include streaming. I think it will be an increase. I don't think it's going to light the world on fire and be like, oh my God, I can't believe they got that money. But it will allow them to continue another 3, 4, 5 years, however long the deal is. Probably 5. I think that's typically how TV deals go. At least that's what WWE's been doing them in 5-year deals. But we'll see how that turns out for AEW. I do expect this to be imminent as well. We should be getting an announcement probably by the end of summer. That was Sean Ross Sapp's prediction, as well as I think Meltzer had said that by the end of summer is when we can expect that. So stay tuned. We'll see how that develops for them. AEW is not going anywhere. They're going to be around at least another 5 years. What they do at that time, how those ratings grow or sink, or whatever the case may be, remains to be seen. I hope the best for them. The people that are out there waiting for AEW to die and fail, you're wishing for wrestling to fail. I don't know if you're just too young or you're a new fan and you have not lived through the eras where WCW closed down, or even the mid 2000s under the Johnny Ace fucking talent relations era. It was abysmal. Wrestling was horrible. You could say that that's gone now because Vince McMahon is gone, but is it? If WWE has zero competition, absolutely zero competition, they had no incentive to create as engaging of a product as they are right now, maybe they still will. Maybe they still will, but maybe they won't. What about the talent? Talent can't compete for contracts. You kind of just, if you want to wrestle on mainstream television and become a household name, you got to just kind of eat the dick and accept whatever they offer you. And they can lowball you, because where else are you going to go work? TNA? New Japan? Good luck. Go there. Make your fucking money. Who cares? Nobody's going to know who you are, though, because nobody watches those shows compared to who watches WWE. That's another problem. But when you can go to AEW or you can go to WWE when you're negotiating and say AEW's offering this much, which is a lot because AEW's just fucking throwing out millions like it's nothing. That is healthy for the business. It's healthy for the boys, if nothing else. It's good for them to be able to negotiate and say, yeah, but, I could go over there. They're offering this much, Yes, it's a step down now. Yes, you're not going to be seen by as many people. Your star power might fade, but your wallet will be fat. Look at Mercedes Moné. When she came back, where was she going to go? If she didn't go to AEW, she would have had to eat the dick and accept whatever WWE was proposing to her. And it was not what she wanted. It was not what she was willing to accept. And with AEW being there, she didn't have to. CM Punk, when he came back, we might not ever have gotten CM Punk back, though he has been on record saying that Nick Khan was always trying to urge him to talk to WWE to possibly go back there. So you can't ever say never in WWE, but who's to say we would have ever seen CM Punk come back if it weren't for having that strong number 2 brand there to support it. So that's just my 2 cents on this whole thing. It is concerning to see Tony Khan giving, excuses, in my opinion. He is skirting around the bleeding ratings by touting, but the demographics, any channel would kill to have our demographics. And we got a lot of stars that are out injured still. Once they come back, we'll be rolling, baby. Not so much. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in those comments below. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes. I fucked that up. And we'll catch you in the next video.
Thank you for checking out the video. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget